What's up guys, it's ADSaaron here. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be covering some wall riding routes I like to use on the map Hollywood. Making this video under the assumption you can already do some pretty basic wall riding stuff. I'll cover that lightly in the video. Sit back and enjoy. Here in this clip I'm going to showcase the ability to climb the inside of a corner. It's very useful and one of the first things I'd recommend you start learning how to do if you don't already know how to. In this clip, I showcase the ability to climb the outside of a corner. It's more difficult, but it's still useful. One thing I have to mention is do not underestimate the speed you gain from using your wall rides. In this clip, I use healing aura and make it to the point faster by using my wall rides than if I were to skate along the ground using my speed aura. As you can see, the routes where I was using my wall rides were faster than the routes where I stayed on the floor, regardless of which aura I was using at the time. In this video, I want to primarily focus on practical wall rides you can use during real games, but I still want to add some, flashy material here and there, just for you guys to watch. As a Lucio main, I find myself trying to boop enemies out of advantageous spaces like high ground, things like that. And any route that helps me to get to high ground more quickly, more efficiently, is something that I want to practice and be able to use in a game. These clips here are some quick routes through the main choke that'll help you to boop enemies off high ground. This small jump on the left staircase I like to use all the time. It can be done while healing or speed boosting, as you'll see here in the clip. With some practice, you can chain two wall rides together and clear the entire first point. As you'll see here in the clip, it can be done while speed boosting or healing.
Check this out.
When pushed back a little bit on defense, I like to use this dumpster to get up to top mid and knock players off the high ground. Whether you're looking to create some space for your own team or push the enemy player into the lion's den, that's up to you.
Oh, yeah!
Like I said, these won't all be very practical, but most of them will be. As a Lucio player, staircases are old news. I recommend always trying to use some alternative method to gain height. During the streets phase of Hollywood, you want to be using these awnings whether on offense or defense. I find them incredibly useful and there's a million ways to get on and off of them. Remember to use your wall rides to gain speed and clear gaps you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Once you've got the hang of a few of these wall rides, you can chain them together and make it to places quickly and safely.
I am loving this. Let be.
As another YouTuber, Jamie Allegro, pointed out, these 1- and 2-step wall rides really are the bread and butter of Lucio's movement. Keeping them short, sweet, and simple is the best way to take positions off the floor. Some more advice I could give is know your surfaces. Go in, practice, know which walls will knock you off, which ones are a little bit more friendly to your wall rides. Know which items in the level are destructible. As an example, this odd-looking cactus right here is indestructible. I use these in a few small jumps, as you've already seen, but that's just one little good thing to keep in mind, is what parts of the map will always be there when you need to use them. This ledge right here, while not that useful, you can stand on it. It's just kind of a niche little thing I wanted to add in for you guys.
Feel the healing beat.
When defending the very last part of Streets phase, a lot of fights break out in front of a jail. It's good to be able to get out of your spawn, up onto the jail, provide support for your teammates, and here's a few routes that'll let you do that. Here are some routes that will allow you to get on top of the Blue Saloon. I don't use these that much anymore, but I still figured I'd add them in.
Oh, yeah!
Like I mentioned earlier, know your surfaces. While these camera rigs look like a great place to start wall rides, unfortunately they're only there for visual effect and you cannot physically interact with them.
Boom!
I really wish that this camera here in particular was physical and that you could climb on it. I know so many different wall rides I'd be doing right now if I could use this camera. On the final phase of Hollywood, I like to go up on the balcony above the first large health pack and knock enemy defenders off, or vice versa.
Oh, yeah!
Most of the time, there are multiple routes to wherever you want to get. You can use a more direct route like the previous two, or one that's a little more flashy like this. Even though up here on these asteroids is kind of an impractical spot, it's a lot of fun to get up here, and with enough practice you could do it really consistently. I definitely recommend going into a custom and just trying it out. This next jump I really like. Although it's a little bit difficult, there's nothing more satisfying than booping some lurking enemy down onto the floor. The last point on Hollywood, most of my wall riding action is going to happen on the trailer side of the point. I like to come out of spawn on the trailer side of the point. The trailer provides cover, and I can also use it to get high ground on the left-hand side. If you don't already know, Lucio's ultimate makes you jump into the air before you can drop your beat. If you can drop your beat onto a surface higher than the surface you started on, then you can drop that beat just a second faster and hopefully get that ult off without getting hit by a helix rocket or something else.
Double time. My ultimate is ready. Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Well, that's all for this one. I'm sure there are plenty more jumps you could do on Hollywood. These are just a lot of the ones that I use in games pretty regularly, so I figured I'd go ahead and share them with you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.